Welcome back everyone, my name's Leigh from Leigh's Kitchen. Today I'm doing my take on the Vietnamese Spring Roll. So I felt like making spring rolls today, so I thought I would show you how I actually make my spring rolls at home. They're very similar to the Vietnamese ones. They do have a little bit more veg in them. So I'm going to show you how I make mine and how they turn out. So for the recipe today, you're going to need some spring roll pastry. Here in Australia, you can get it from Coles or Woolworths. I'm not sure about IGA, but definitely in those supermarkets. And it's in the freezer section. Just make sure you thaw this out so it's ready to go. And I'm going to show you the rest of the ingredients that I'm going to put into it today. So for the ingredients I've got here, I've got a small onion here. I've got some grated ginger, some grated garlic. I've got a couple of carrots that I've just shredded. And I've got some cabbage that I've shredded as well. Then I've got some bean sprouts here. So a little tip with the bean sprouts, if you find they're going off too quickly, keep them in your freezer. They actually stay very singular, so you can actually freeze them and just take them out as you just need them, and they go straight into a stir fry. Come out really good. I've got some pork mince here, and then I've also got some really thin vermicelli noodles here, probably about 80 grams there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some hot water over these noodles and just get them soaking. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a stir fry. We're going to fry all of this up, and then we're going to cool it down, and then we're going to fill it our spring roll wrappers with it, and then we'll fry it off. So I've just got a large frying pan here. I'm just going to get this heating on high, and I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in here. Now once it's heated up, we're going to add our pork mince. Now, if you don't like pork mince, you could use chicken mince, or if you wanted to go vegetarian, you could do maybe some shredded mushrooms or something. We're just going to get this into a single layer, and then we're going to leave it there and just let it caramelize before we go and stir it all up. While the meat's cooking, I'm also just going to add some salt to it. And also I've got some white pepper here, and I'm going to put plenty of that in. If you don't have white pepper, you can definitely just use black pepper. I do find white pepper has a bit of a, like a funky scent to it, and that kind of adds to the Vietnamese food. Now it's going to give us a really good stir. Just make sure we break up all the mince up. We're going to add an onion. Now ginger. And 2 cloves of garlic. Now the onions are cooked up, we're going to add our carrots. If you can be bothered slicing up carrot and cabbage, you could by all means go to the supermarket and buy a package of the pre-shredded coleslaw mix. Makes it nice and easy. Once that's had a chance to cook off, we're going to add our cabbage. And our bean sprouts straight from the freezer. In they go. I probably should have used a bigger frying pan, but we will make do. Once that's cooled down, we're going to add our seasoning. So I'm just going to add some more salt here. Then I've got some fish sauce. Good splash of that stuff. And I'm just going to put a little bit more white pepper. Now, a little bit controversial, but Uncle Roger will love me. A little bit of yum yum, which is MSG. Honestly, you don't need to, but I like to. And then also I'm just going to add about a teaspoon worth of sugar. Just balance all the saltiness out. So before we add the noodles, now's the time you really want to check your seasonings and make sure it's all good. And that's the best thing about frying this off first. That way you can check everything, make sure everything's tasting good. And then you can adjust it just as you need to. For me, I think it just needs a bit of soy sauce, and then we'll add the noodles, and then we're right to go on to the next step. So I just did want to add just a little bit of soy sauce to that. Then all we're going to do is we're going to drain the rice noodles, and then we're going to grab a pair of kitchen scissors, and we're just going to kind of like cut through it, cut into little pieces. I've actually heard this is actually bad luck in Asian culture. Right, now we're going to put that into our filling. So I'm just going to stir that into that. Alright, and now we're going to let that cool completely. So now I'm going to make a quick dipping sauce to go with it, and it is so easy. So it's basically just a nook dipping sauce. So I've got a clove of garlic here. I'm just going to put that into our Pyrex dish. I've got a long chili that I've just diced up. In there it goes. Then I've got basically here 2 tablespoons of water. Then I'm going to add some lime juice. So we're going to add 1.5 tablespoons of lime juice. A tablespoon of fish sauce. And then about 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the microwave, and I'm just going to heat it up just a little bit just so that sugar dissolves. So these are the wrappers here, and what we want to carefully do is just kind of just peel these apart one at a time. So I've just peeled that in half, and then you should really want to carefully just try and take one off at a time. These are fragile, so you just want to take your time. And I do find, see how that's ripped a little bit, so just take your time. If they do rip a little bit, don't worry too much. You'll probably be able to work around it. $19 more to go. So while I'm doing that, I've just got my deep fryer out, and I'm just going to get that plugged in, heating up so that's ready to go. So I'm going to heat this up to 170 degrees, and that's 340 degrees Fahrenheit. And in my deep fry, I have rice bran oil. That's what I use for deep frying. I don't actually deep fry too much. I might deep fry maybe once a month now. So I'm pretty good with that. If you don't have a deep fryer, you could also just use a wok. I've been using a wok for years, but I actually find the deep fryer is a lot better at regulating temperature. You don't have to worry about it overheating or anything like that, because it has all the safety stuff in it. So now we're ready to make the spring roll. So I've got some flour and water here. We're just going to make like a glue. So just maybe like a bit of a paste. I'm just going to go around the edges and actually seal it to make sure it doesn't fall apart while it's in the fryer. All right, so now we are ready to wrap the spring roll. So a couple of things. With your mixture, just make sure it's cooled down completely. That steam will actually make them fall apart. I'm just going to put a couple of tablespoons of the spring roll filling in the middle there. And we make ours pretty big because we don't actually have these as like an entree or anything like that. We have them as a main meal. We just fold it in, fold it over, bring in just a little bit and just roll. And there we go. As I said, they're a lot bigger than your actual spring rolls. That's because we're going to have them as a main meal. So I've got 19 of these done, ready to fry. Now, I did have a little bit left over, and I thought I'd just show you just an idea. When you run out of the spring roll wrappers, you can also just do a delicious lettuce wrap as well. Makes a good sandwich oil substitute as well. Alright, so I've got my deep fryer heated to 170 degrees or 340 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to put about 5 in here at a time. Now you can see my oil is a little bit darker, and that is just because I use rice bran oil. Rice bran oil is a lot darker than any of the other oils. Another thing as well is I actually don't like cooking in fresh oil. So now we'll let this fry, and we'll fry them for about 3-4 minutes until they're nice and crispy. You might need to turn them a couple of times just to make sure they're all being fried completely over. After about 5 minutes, you're about ready to take out the fryer. Nice and golden and crispy. I'm just putting them on my air fryer rack just so that they have air to circulate underneath so they don't go soggy while I cook the rest. Now you will get some explosions if either your mixture is too wet or you've got any holes in your wrapper, so just keep that in mind, and I'm just going to go ahead and fry off the rest. So while we're waiting for the spring rolls to actually cook, I'm going to set up a serving board. So I've got some cos lettuce here, or the baby cos lettuce, and I like this because it's nice and small, and I think it's big enough for the spring rolls so that we can serve them up. Then I have some coriander. I think coriander goes amazing with them. As well as some mint leaves here. And then we've got our dipping sauce. And when those spring rolls are ready, we'll serve them up. Let's serve these up. Let's see how they are. So doesn't that look good? And this was the best part of going to a Vietnamese restaurant. Getting the spring rolls, getting the lettuce, getting the herbs. It's gonna be so good. Let's try them out. So I like to get a lettuce wrap, and then we've got some mint here, some coriander, or poison to some people, some chili, a spring roll, and we wrap that up. Dip. That is so good, and it's something the whole family will enjoy, and it's so much fun when you
all fight over the lettuce wraps and everything over the table, trying to chuck all the herbs and everything to wrap it up. My family loves it when we make them. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a good old like. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.